UFC 316 goes down this Saturday, and this is your preview, betting guide, whatever you want to call it, for the slate of fights. Look, let's just answer the biggest question in the room. Is this worth $80? Are you, as a consumer, going to want to fork over $80 to watch this product? And I go, no. And I don't think it's worth $80 because the main event, I don't think, garners an $80 price tag. It's tough for me to ever say oh yeah, that's definitely worth it. But I do think that this is a pretty solid card altogether. So what I would suggest is find a buddy, find a couple friends, order the fight, split it. This is definitely worth $40, but 80, no. All right, let's start out with the first fight of the night. You've got Kevin Holland going against Vicente Luque, and I should preface this by saying I'm going to do the main card of this slate of fights. And in my last preview, I went 2-3. Wasn't great, so take that for what it's worth. But we will start out with Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. I love this matchup. This is just a fun fight. These are two guys that probably are never going to be in a title picture, but are just exciting fighters, thus leading to, as I said, a fun fight. Kevin Holland going back down to 170. He is 5-3 at 170. He's only lost to Michael Venom Page, Jack Della Maddalena, and there's one more in there. But he's lost to top-level guys at 170. And at one point, Vicente Luque looked like he was going to be that guy. I just realized the other person was Stephen Thompson. He broke his hand in that fight in the first round. I think he would have won that fight had he not broken his hand because he was piecing him up. But he's looked really good at 170. And Vicente Luque at one point looked to be a title challenger, a title contender. And then all of a sudden the wheels kind of fell off. Now, he got back in the win column his last fight, but that to me was a get-right fight. This is more of a step up in competition from his last go-round. This is kind of to see if Vicente Luque could truly be back or if Vicente Luque might just be cooked. If the wheels have fallen off the Vicente Luque train. I really like Kevin Holland. I'm always going to like Kevin Holland. I like the fact that I feel like Kevin Holland is more game-bred than Jorge Masvidal, even though Jorge Masvidal has the nickname. Because Kevin Holland just dude, I'll fight anybody. Sure, 185, 170, doesn't matter. I think he's good at 170 because of the fact he has to cut weight, so he goes in there bigger. Not like he doesn't have success at 185, but I think 170 is a better weight class for him. I think you're going to see his power. Vicente Luque has shown the ability to be prone to getting hit, which isn't a good sign against Kevin Holland. Meanwhile, Kevin Holland really, the only time he's really, really gotten, really lost is whether he's submitted, ragdolled, or in the Michael Venom Page fight, it was just he couldn't figure him out, and that's a problem with a lot of people that Michael Venom Page faces. So because of that, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland in this one. I think Kevin Holland actually finishes Vicente Luque as my computer times out, so hit thumbs down for that. I think he finishes Vicente Luque, and I think he gets the win in this one via TKO, knockout, whatever. All right, the next fight on the card is going to be a newcomer to the UFC taking on Mario Batista. You've got Patchy Mix, the former Bellator champion, taking on Mario Batista. Mario Batista coming off the biggest snooze fest of Jose Aldo's career. I know a lot of MMA media blame Mario Batista, of all people, for the fact that Jose Aldo didn't get a title fight. Okay, he lost. But there is an underlying problem here. Mario Batista is in an exciting weight class at bantam, and he's not an exciting fighter. He's boring. All he really does is, it just seems like he ekes out decision wins. And look, he gets the win, but you look at the level of competition he's faced. Jose Aldo was his best win, and that was split decision because no one could really figure out what the hell was going on in that fight. It just seemed like Mario Batista was very content with holding Jose Aldo against the cage. And look, it's on Jose Aldo to get off the cage. So Mario Batista, I had that for Mario Batista. But Patchy Mix, I think, is another breed. This is a guy that's got one loss in his MMA career. And granted, he's coming from Bellator. It's not exactly the UFC. I mean, the best caliber fighters are in the UFC. But I think Patchy Mix puts it on him. I think Mario Batista gets pretty humbled. And Mario Batista's a guy that like wants the bigger fight, but he doesn't do anything to really put himself in that position other than win. I know that sounds oxymoronish, but yeah, I think Patchy Mix shows up and he does what the most recent slate of guys coming over from new organizations or for old organizations or whatever you want to call it. I think he does what they failed to do, and that's pick up a win. I mean, you look at Pitbull. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank on the Ryzen champion at 125. He lost, so hit thumbs down for that as well. But yeah, like I think Patchy Mix comes in here, and I think he gets the win against Mario Batista. All right, third fight of the night. I'm a little biased with this one. Joe Pyfer taking on Kelvin Gastelum. I was texting a buddy when Joe Pyfer faced Jack Hermanson, and I correctly predicted that fight going down. Like I was like, my fear with Jack Hermanson is Jack Hermanson will wear on you, and he'll look like he's getting his ass kicked, but really like it's a rope-a-dope. And then all of a sudden, when you run out of gas, he mounts you, he submits you. That's what happened to Joe Pyfer. He didn't get finished. He's very, very, very quick to remind everybody he did not get fraud checked, but he lost that fight. I think it was a wake-up call. I mean, Joe Pyfer needed that. He needed a 5-round main event to let him know. I think that you can't just run in there and knock everybody out. And in Kelvin Gastelum, I mean, we talked about a guy that looked like a former champion in Vicente Luque. Kelvin Gastelum was that for a while. I mean, that fight against Izzy was incredible. And it came down to the 5th round. And I don't think Kelvin Gastelum's ever been the same since that fight. I mean, he's back at, I think, his natural weight class. So I think he'll be bigger. But I still think Joe Pyfer ends up knocking him out. I think Joe Pyfer gets back in the win column. I think Kelvin Gastelum's going to try to rely on his wrestling and his grappling and all that. But I think he's going to catch one. And he's going to get knocked out. Again, though, I'm a little biased. Me and Joe from the same city, birthplace of America, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So it's tough for me to pick against Philly fighters. It's not like I haven't done it before. But I truly believe that Joe Pyfer gets back in the win column. And I think the best thing for his career was that Jack Hermanson fight. Next up, the co-main event. Women's 135-pound belt on the line. You've got Kayla Harrison going up against Juliana Pena. Yeah, I'll be quick with this one. I think Kayla Harrison wins. But I do think Juliana Pena is a live dog in this one. And I think the reason why she's a live dog is the weight cut for Kayla Harrison is so intense that going in there 5 rounds against Juliana, I think it's going to be difficult. I think she wins. I just don't think it's going to be the finish that a lot of people think you're going to see. I'm not really looking forward to this fight. Neither of these women really do it for me in terms of like the excitement level. Juliana tries. Like, she tries to talk her game up and she tries to talk shit and all that, but like the cringy nature of Juliana Pena at this point is too much for me, where I'm like, I don't really want to see you be champion, because we all know what's going to happen. If she gets on the mic, she's going to call out Amanda. She's going to claim Amanda is scared of her, which, girl, look at your last fight against Amanda. You got murked. You got destroyed. And it feels like Juliana Pena is going out there, and it's kind of like me constantly tweeting Anna Kendrick to go to burritos at Qdoba. Like, it's just desperation. So I'm not really looking forward to that if Juliana Pena wins. I wouldn't be shocked if Juliana Pena does pull this one out, though, because she has that dog in her. Like, she really does. But I think Kayla Harrison's, I mean, look, she's an Olympian, so there's a reason for that. And she's destroyed everybody but one fighter. And much like Joe Pyfer, I think that fight was a little bit of a wake-up call for her. And I think she's hell-bent on getting that belt. I think she does get that belt. All right. Main event time. I'll be quick with this one, too. And normally with my UFC preview shows, they've gone like, I don't know, 15 minutes. This one's going to be quick. Merab does the same thing he did in the last fight. I think this is the definition of Dana White privilege, that Sean O'Malley gets this fight. Because Sean O'Malley did nothing to get this fight. Sean O'Malley got ragdolled for 5 rounds. It wasn't close. And Sean O'Malley fanboys will claim like, oh, all he did was like hold him and hug him. And they're basically to claim that Merab did to their Lord and Savior what Mario Batista did to Jose Aldo, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. Like, Merab was in there pretty much doing whatever the hell he wanted to Sean after Sean talked a big game. And, of course, he comes out and he's like, oh, I was injured and all this. Like, dude, Merab had a staph infection. And he was holding you down and kissing your back. Like, that was the one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in the UFC octagon. Is like, I'm destroying you so badly, I'm gonna make you my bitch. You're holding my pocket. I'm kissing you. Like, was it weird? Yeah, it was a little weird. But like, I don't see this fight going any different. We all know what needs to happen for Sean to win. Merab has to walk into one. And it's hard for me to imagine that dude with that gas tank is not just going to continue to shoot until eventually he gets Sean down. Has Sean done enough since, November? In his grappling and his wrestling takedown defense? No. No, because Merab has done this his entire career. And that's why he's a machine. He continues to go and go and go and wear you the hell down until finally you reach round 3 and you're like, I got 2 more of these. It's not going to be any different. So I would be shocked if Sean ends up winning this fight. I want to see anybody else in there but Sean, just because of the fact the way that it was so one-sided the last fight. But Dana White's going to Dana White privilege. So there you have it. That's the main card. Kevin Holland against Vicente Luque. I got Kevin Holland in that one. Patchy Mix against Mario Batista. I got Patchy Mix. Joe Pyfer against Kelvin Gastelum. I got Joe Pyfer. Kayla Harrison against Juliana Pena. I have Kayla Harrison. And then the main event, Merab all day. There's not really a great slate in terms of like the prelims. I mean, I'll watch them, but I don't really see, like, I'll quickly look. I do like Joshua Van. Like, I think Josh Van is one day going to contend for the championship, the title. I don't think it's today, obviously. He's got a long road. But Bruno Silva's really good, veteran in the sport. I think this is a step up for Joshua Van. So I do like that fight. I do like that just based on, like, if you want to look at a guy that could be challenging for a belt in, a year or two, I think that's a fun fight. I'm always interested in Sergey Spivak fights. The guy is, I feel like, pretty small for the heavyweight division. Love the nickname, the Polar Bear. And he goes in there and he's oddly entertaining for me. I think it's because he's one of the few heavyweights that will grapple and continuously get out submission wins. But I like that one. Waldo or Cortez Acosta, though, is really, really good. And Sergey Spivak has had problems with guys that just power shot you to death. I think Sergey Spivak's game in this one is going to be push Waldo against the cage, try to get him down, try to wear on him, and not get caught. I don't know if it happens, though. I don't know if it happens. And that's about it for the card. So there you have it. There's your UFC 316 preview, betting guide, whatever you want to call it. And we'll recap this after the fight. I'll have a post-show-ish thing. Maybe I'll do it live. Probably not. And I will talk to you guys. Oh, and then I got to beg for subscribers. So, like, hit the button and all that shit. You know where that button is. All right, I'm going to go.